And a very good evening to you, coming to you live from SJ23 Stadium in Katy, Texas, as they begin to wrap up the senior night presentations. We are approximately 20 minutes away from kickoff. Glad to have you with us here on this Friday night in November, almost October there, in November. George Koff here on the mic for the play-by-play, along with my good friend from College Station, Hunter Prabhu, helping me out with the camera. Glad to have you with us here from the SJ23 campus for the good one. We've got the St. John, the 23rd Lions, taking on the current leaders in the Division 5 district, the Village School Vikings. We're going to take you inside our pregame festivities here as they continue to announce the seniors. The Village School Vikings. They are a team that started in 2008, their high school program, and that would be when their football program started a few years after that. They are the Vikings, and they are currently 7-1, 2-0 in district play. Last week, they defeated the Kelly Bulldogs 40-27 at home. As for your St. John the 23rd Lions, they are 7-2 overall, 1-1 in district play. They come into this one defeating TK Gorman last week, 41-7 at home. They also are the reigning Division 5 state champions, just to mention that, as they have a target on their back, trying to get back to that promised land yet again. As the Lions head coach, Coach Richardson is 22-15, looking for his 23rd win of the season, or of his career, rather. He is coming close to the all-time wins leader, which Coach Mills holds at 26 wins. The Lions, speaking of wins, have won 11 straight at home. They are looking to extend that to 12 tonight with a victory. That dates back to 2017, the homecoming game against the Beaumont Kelly Bulldogs. Village is looking for their second state championship appearance, on the other hand, as the Lions are indeed also looking for their second straight appearance. In that game, the Village Vikings lost to Cathedral in 2017. Both teams are looking for that iconic win number 8, which is very, very, very big for the football programs. SJ23 has clinched back-to-back winning seasons for the first time in school history. Obviously seeing a big movement for the football program. On the other side, the Village has clinched back-to-back winning seasons here in their young football history. If we take a look at the stats here in regards to scoring, the Lions 196-71 that they're outscoring opponents in the first half. The Village Vikings won up the Lions just a little bit more, 251-75 in the first half. So we bring you inside now here to the booth for the quarterback comparison. Matt Jasek Jr., quarterback for the Lions, has been pretty good this year. 973 passing yards. Coming off a one-game absence here, he'll be going back and starting tonight. That's a 58.9% completion rating and has 12 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Not so great, but it still shows that he can move the ball. Also has 214 yards on the ground, with his longest run being of 30 yards. The Vikings will send out their senior quarterback Brady Bassam, who is passed for approximately 1,000 yards, 18 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. A big crowd cheers for Jake Williams, big senior running back and defensive back. As we continue our pregame festivities, you may be asking yourself, is this the first I-10 rivalry showdown? Well, this is actually the 4th meeting between these two rivals, but the rivalry has been controlled by the Lions. So the Lions won 42-0 on senior night in 2016 here at SJ23 Stadium, and won 42-24 and 17-14 both at Viking Field, with that 17-14 win clinching a state championship appearance. Other than that, we got some good matchups to be looking at. Jack West for the Vikings looks to have a big game against this Lions secondary. Lions have forced and recovered 17 fumbles as the teams go back into the locker rooms, and have had 10 interceptions, with Carter Sanchez and Brandon Mayfield leading the way, with both having team-leading 3 interceptions. On the other side, Jackson Magaha, the sophomore, transfer, running back for the Lions, is going to face a very, very good Viking defensive line. However, he has accounted for 55% of St. John the 23rd's rushing yards and 19 of the 36 offensive touchdowns scored by the Lions. He should have a pretty big day against this good defensive line, but that would be a key matchup to watch. Finally, one key note of interest here as we continue to give you pregame festivities is Village. If we remember from the 2016 Alabama squad, the Alabama had non-offensive touchdowns just about every other week. Well, this Village Viking team has a combined 8 non-offensive touchdowns in the season here as we come into the regular season finale. That's a pick 6, a scoop and score, 4 kick return touchdowns, and 2 punt return touchdowns. Look for that to play a potential big role in tonight's game, especially early on. We'll have some scores that we get to later in the evening, but the big game to watch is the Cristo Rey Jesuit Lions traveling to Beaumont to take on the Kelly Bulldogs. This game is the other district game going on. Should Kelly win, we'll force a potential 3-way tie between the Kelly Bulldogs and the 2 teams on the field tonight, between the Village Vikings and the St. John the 23rd Lions. The Fort Bend Christian plays their annual rivalry game, this time on the road in Houston against the Second Baptist Eagles. That's Eagles versus Eagles. And we get of course the other matchup going on in the district tonight, in the division rather, not in the district. The division is Northland Christian against St. Dominic Savio, as Savio has clinched their spot in the state championship game, and they will play the winner of this East Zone district. They are 7-0, looking to go to 8-0 before the state championship game. That's as much as we got for you here on this November 1st evening. So we might as well transition here to the field as we wait for the first quarter to start. As the pregame ceremonies are still going on, about 12 minutes remaining. We will do our best here to get you some updated stats and as much notes of interest as we have possible for tonight's game. It does help when you have free hands and you have a good friend here to help you out doing the camera, not having to camera commentate stats here for the entire game. Again, Lions Vikings coming to you live from SJ23 Stadium. I believe this is approaching our 20th broadcast ever in the Lions Sports Network's history, which is a big milestone and a huge progress of trying to get you guys Lions athletics to the world. Again, we're broadcasting on YouTube. That's YouTube as in what you watch if you get into a little YouTube hole and going into just random YouTube videos. I know Dude Perfect's a big one of mine that I always keep watching. But to follow up on this game, you can tell your fans and friends and family to go to youtube.com/Lions Sports Network. We appreciate all you who have subscribed, giving us 100 or more subscribers so we can make that link nice and easy and get it out to the world.
We have our medical training staff out here.
So as the Lions have gone back to the locker room for a final pregame speech, the Vikings are still on the field looking for maybe some final touch-ups on what they plan to do. Based off of the senior night presentations, it does look like the Lions are going to be in the red helmet, red jerseys, and red pants. But that could change, as tonight is a blackout for the students now. It looks like everyone is kind of cold and bundled up, so who knows how much of that actually is in blackout. So we'll see if the Lions come out in some black uniforms or if they stay in their all reds. based off of what we can tell from the Vikings, it does look like the Vikings are going to wear white helmets with white jerseys and navy blue pants. Either way, we got a good one on tap. 9 minutes before we get into this matchup. Good showdown coming to you. And we are going to step aside for now. We've finished our pregame festivities. So we will step aside. We will come back after the national anthem for the coin flip and kickoff. Again, you're watching the pregame of St. John 23rd facing off against the Village School Vikings here on Lion Sports Network. We'll be back in just about 8 minutes for kickoff. And welcome back to Lion Sports Network's coverage of this St. John 23rd football game. We will have the entrance for the St. John 23rd Lions as well as the Village School Vikings. And as we do, we will have it here live on Lion Sports Network. And then we will have the national anthems and the prayer. So stick with us. No sound for now, but stick with us for the entrances and the national anthem. We'll take a break from the mic, and we'll get back to you for the coin flip and kickoff moments away. You're watching Lion Sports Network here on YouTube.
Sings our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early
question.
Remain standing. One more time.
Okay, we're supposed to. They were. Yeah, close the door. Close the door. And that was the St. John 23rd Choir providing the national anthem there for you all as we get ready for the entrance here for the Lions. The nice big blow up.
In the name of the Father, and of
The invocation
Son,
first.
and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. God, help us to remember that we are a team and friends and family first. Grant us the blessing of unity and save us from division's curse. Thank you that we all are well, healthy, strong, and fit. Please keep us safe and injury-free, especially when we hit. Keep us strong when battles rage and emotions run so high. Help us always show respect for ourselves and the other guy. Bring us together to strive as one for a common goal. Help us not to seek individual glory, but credit the team as a whole. And thank you for this game called football for our coaches and our fans. Thank you for our cheerleaders, Crimson Cadets, our school, and marching band. Thank you for those who sacrificed their time to make us better men. And let us take from this experience memories and friendships with no end. Amen. St. John the 23rd, pray for us. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
And a little bit of some delays here with national anthem and the prayer.
Ladies and gentlemen, little PSA, there is a drone over the field. We need that drone removed.
And it looks like we actually have a drone over the field, and it looks like that they're going to have to remove that. In my short broadcasting time here, I've never actually seen that before, but yes, in the TAPS rules it does say you're not allowed to use a drone or any sort of flying object. Again, we are just about ready to kick it off here. We'll have the coin flip at midfield. It's Friday Night Lights in November. Gotta love the cold weather. Gotta love the excitement.
My assumption is all the captains are most likely seniors for tonight on our
And it does look like that drone has been flown off. So we will have the 5 captains.
Number 58 and 44. That is Joaquin West.
And that's Kyle Paul for your Lions, Jake Bodler, Jake Williams,
Gary Smith.
and
Tyler Woods. For your St. John Lions, number 21. Kyle.
and we're going to get the results here for the coin flip.
Number 55, Jake Wagner. Number 7, Jake
And that's 65, Trevor Oakham there standing between the refs that you can't see in your screen.
And number 65, Trevor Oakham.
And we're going to get the result here. Based off of the long conversation here, it looks like that probably is deciding based off of side. It doesn't look like the wind is going to be a problem tonight. Traditionally, it's better to go north. It's better to go east to west. East to west, or west to east, correction, rather than west than east to west here from SJ23 Stadium, just based off of the lighting. Now, the sun is not going to be an issue tonight, but it could. We're going to. My cameraman says that he believes the Lions won the toss. We're going to wait for the official ruling. Looks like they've had the coin toss, flip the coin multiple times, and does look like the Lions. So the Lions won the toss, and they have elected to receive to start this game. So the Village Vikings will defer. They will start the second half with the football, but we will get to see the Lions offense for the first time. Got a good one coming up for you here in less than 30 seconds between the St. John the 23rd Lions and the Village Vikings. Here, probably help that we get you a game clock going, because apparently at one point I was incompetent of the of the game clock. That would probably be a good idea that we would have had that going. So we are set ready to go as the Village Vikings look set to kick it off. And my best guess is it's going to be Juan Soler. Number 32 is going to kick it off. I could be wrong. He is listed as the kicker on the depth chart. Andrew Duncan is also out there as the kicker. And it does indeed look like to be Soler. So Soler's going to kick it off. Back deep to receive for the Lions is Carter Sanchez, number 11.
We'll be kicking off to the Lions.
And I believe
Deep to receive
is Carter
for the Lions.
is,
Number 11,
is Carter Sanchez,
Carter Sanchez. and
who has a
number
punt return touchdown on the season.
8, Austin.
But that's no matter here. Is we are underway from SJ. There is a flag, and immediately on the first play of the game, we got some flags.
First and 10 for the Lions.
The Lions are going to start with the ball here, and it's going to be a holding,
Penalty will be against the Lions.
a block in the back. Excuse me, thank you, Hunter. A block in the back here. So the Lions are going to start at the looks like 13. So first and 10 for the Lions offense, which we get to see Matt Jasek, the starting quarterback. It's junior, 5'11", 171 pounds. He's 9 again. We talked about in the pregame, 82 for 139. And looks like a two receiver set. That's gonna be a take it himself. Matt's gonna get to the 25, to the 30, to the 35. Stiff arm and gets taken down at the 34, at the 39. The flag's gonna come out, and just like that, on the first play from scrimmage, the Lions are gonna get some 15 yards of penalty yardage.
With the keeper. Looks like that's another Lions first.
And it's the Lions' first down of.
All right, another friendly reminder, whoever's flying that drone has to get out of the playing field entirely. The drone has to get
So
out.
move the chains
No drone allowed.
for. Taken, so an early timeout here for the Lions. It's going to take us to our first little break.
It's not on the clock, but you don't have to worry about that. You're good. No, that's not on the clock.
Hey. Two JVs are going to come up here, music for halftime, plug it in.
And we're going to reset the clock here again. We may have an extra man in the booth, but sometimes you get a little too excited and you're not paying attention to what our clock is set at. 10:17 is the is the clock management. We got a 3rd and 7 coming after this timeout. Again, this drive started on the St. John 13-yard line. So at this point, they have gotten into Village territory to start this game. But you gotta be thinking this could be 4-down territory, especially with the inefficiency of the kicking. For not just the Lions, but for both squads. Bunch sets on each side, 2 receivers. J6 in the backfield. He's got the throw. He's gonna throw it over here to the near sideline. That's Jake Williams who spins off a tackler. Move the chains for another first down. Jake Williams, another senior, doing it on senior night. And almost in the red zone. That's going to get them to the 21. And just like that, the Lions have finally have kept this drive moving. Jake Williams is going to come to the sideline, take a breather after that nice gain. First down from the 22. Correction, they spotted the 22, not the 21. And Magaha's in the backfield to the left. He takes the pitch. He sheds off a tackler. That was number 18, Bin Chan, who tried to take him behind the line. And instead, he gets in there for, I want to say, a first down.
Just shy.
And they're going to mark him just...
Brings up a 2nd down and 1.
They're going to mark him just short. So it's going to be 2nd and 1, maybe even 2nd in inches from inside the red zone. On the 14-yard line. 13-yard line, correction. Lions looking to capitalize and make something with their first possession. 10 minutes to go in the first quarter. J6 in the backfield. Magaha handles the snap. Tries to find a hole. Pushing his way forward. And instead, and he's continued to push. I thought he was stopped there for a second. He continued to push. So the Lions are going to have 1st and goal very early in this game. That's just called will right there. Jackson Magaha just kept pushing. Maybe even a little bit of the bush push there. Having the offensive lineman trying to get in and just keep that pile moving when you get a bunch of high schoolers, even here, just pushing. Find a way to get those extra yards. So inside the 5-yard line, the Lions are going to have 1st and goal. And Jacek is going to be under center, 2 in the backfield. He's going to hand it off to Magaha, who we saw tried to push. Not going to get anything there. He might actually lose some yards there. So we're going to go back to the 5-yard line.
Bring up a 2nd down and goal for the Lions.
J6 gets the play from Coach Rich. Looks like Nolan Deers and Jake Williams are going to come back in after sitting out a few of those plays at that big play to set up this 2nd and goal here from the senior receiver Jake Williams. A nice play to the 20-yard line, and of course the Lions have kept it moving. 2nd and goal from just about the 5-yard line, 8.5 to go in the first quarter. Jason looks to throw. He's going to try to find a man in the back of the end zone and just Tate Hinton, the sophomore, was trying to put his hands up, but when you're 6'2", and that ball goes, even for being 6'2", and that ball goes way overhead, you know it's probably a bad pass. 3rd and goal for the Lions, trying to capitalize again. They had a big play to start this game, added with a 15-yard unnecessary roughness penalty, and then a big play by Jake Williams after a nice catch has gotten them to this point. Lions trying to score early. Some trickery. And instead, Magaha keeps pushing. Did he cross the plane? No, he did not. He's going to be very close. So it looks like it's going to be 4th and goal from the 1-yard line. So now Coach Richardson is faced with a decision. Do you go for it? Or do you try to take the points here? You got to be thinking you're this close. Potentially go for it. Magaha, that's his second rushing play here once they've gotten inside to 1st and goal. It looks like we will take a timeout. And it looks like the refs are. We've taken a timeout here. No.
On the field, it's going to push us back a couple of yards. Still 4th and goal for the Lions.
And it was a false start penalty on the Lions, so that pushes them back from the 1 to about the 8-yard line. So we're gonna start the clock again. 7.5 to go. Motion to J.J. Amos, and instead it's gonna be Magas. Did not let the tackler take him down. Is he in the end zone? He is. That's a Lions touchdown, and the Lions take the lead early in this game. And just he kept pushing and pushing and pushing. Matt Jasek finally got in. And that is called resilience. And a great drive to start this game. Looks like Ethan Mills is on to be the holder and the kicker. Not exactly sure here who the kicker is for the extra point. And the kick is up, and it is good. And that would be number 84, Roman Brown. The freshman doesn't feel any pressure. His 6th made extra point of the season. So just like that, here from SJ23 Stadium, the Lions take an early 7-0 lead with 7:25 to go on the clock. And on 4th and goal, the gutsy decision to go for it with a nice draw play worked beautifully. So with that, we'll get to see the Village offense here for the first time. Again, it was a nice big play drive that resulted in an 87-yard scoring drive with a 8-yard touchdown rush by Matt Jasek. Not sure how many plays that was, not keeping track of that too much, but if we do have that on tape, we can go back and give you that. It was a 4.5-minute drive by the Lions. Didn't take up too much time. And the Vikings are going to get it at the 30. Catch made by Griffin Rowe. The junior 6 foot, exactly 175 for the Vikings. Let's give you a preview here at this Village School Viking offense, led by Brady Bassam, the senior, as we mentioned in the pregame, quarterback, 5'9", 160 pounds, and he's been pretty good in the air as well as on the ground. Got 256 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns to add along to those nice stats. But the story is going to be on Jack West, the sophomore, 6 foot. He's got most of the yards for the Village School offense, and pressure early. And then speaking of West, it's going to go to West to the 38. So 2nd down and about 5 to go. And very quickly, Bassam was under pressure, brought there by that defensive line by the Lions. Bassam fakes the handoff. He's looking for anything, and it's going to get to James Wally, the freshman, number 80. And it looked like that was Zach Renteria that almost got to Bassam, the junior, 5'8", 146, who's got 5 tackle for losses on the year as well as a fumble recovery. So this drive continues to move right near midfield. Bassam, 2 pass attempts that have gone for positive yards early in this game. And it's going to be a false start. Not sure what number it was on, but don't have that enough technology here in TAPS high school football. But either way, it's going to move the Vikings back 5 yards. So 1st and 15 coming from the 44. Bassam is in the backfield along with West behind him. 3 receivers to the near sideline. Bassam hands it off. He fakes the handoff, and he trips at the 40-yard line. So keep the yardage. Keep going back. Vikings going the wrong direction on this first drive. 2nd second and about 20 to go, or second and 17. Depends on what the what you would classify good yards. Same set. Bad snap. Bassam almost trips again. He's going to throw, and it goes over Carter Sanchez and Ainch Bandari, as well as Christopher Constantine. Lots of players over there as Bassam just kind of heaved it up as it fell for an incompletion. So for his first of the night. Third and long for the Vikings here early on in this game. Bassam pump fakes, doesn't see his man. He's going to scramble out to the left. And instead, they're going to say it is incomplete. Jack West almost had a nice diving catch. He's trying to plead his case, and instead the men in stripes and zebra stripes don't believe so. So a long fourth down coming, and you got to think the Vikings are going to punt here with deep, not quite deep in their own territory, but just at the 40-yard line with 5:25 remaining in the opening frame. So a drive plagued by penalties and three batting completions is going to send the punt unit out. And it's going to be another penalty, and I believe it's going to be a false start, so push the Vikings back even more. They started this drive on the 30.
Fourth and long is going to probably be
Correction, that was on the Lions offense. Or defense. Correction, the Lions defense. It was an offside, if I can get my words correct there. So the Vikings will be punting from the 45. Again, they started this drive at the 30, so it's a 15-yard drive, which is pretty good for the Lions defense to start out here. And a good punt. Travels and bounces just at the 29. Lions are going to let it sit, which rolls to the 24, and that's where the Lions will take over. That was 32. Number 32, Juan Solarigan, the kicker punter, who kicked a very nice punt. So that was a 31-yard punt. So the Lions will get their second possession of the frame with 5:15 to go. Again, remember the clock on your screen may not be actually be correct.
number 23, Matt Jason for the keeper.
So St. John's going to start this at their 23, 24, 25-yard line. I assumed it was the 23-yard line because that would make for a very good joke. St. John the 23rd, starting at their own 23. You got to deal with the puns, people. If you listen to George Goff, you got to deal with the puns. As that run goes for a second down and 7. Back on the offense here for the Lions. Again, Jackson McGaw has been brilliant here, pushing forward for more yards, but Jason's been the star of the night so far as he's made some big passes and use his feet. And he uses his feet here again, tries to find some more room, and he's going to get to the 33. Clock can continue the run. So a third and they're going to move the chains. It's going to be a first down for the Lions.
For another Lions first down.
So it's going to be a correction. It's going to be a first down. So the Lions continue to move as the clock does. 4 minutes to go.
I believe so, Coach. And it was wheels. Yes, sir, I believe so.
And some motion in the backfield. It goes to Jake Williams, and he's going to find some space to the 43, but a flag comes out in the backfield, and this one might be coming back. And I would assume it might be coming back for a holding. We're going to wait to see what the guy in the white hat says here. A lot of penalties early in this game for both sides. including a drive by the the Village Vikings first drive that caused the drive to just stall. And it looks like the flag is going to be waved off. So second down from where the play ended, which was the 42. Nice run by Jake Williams. Almost a Wildcat type run. He's got 108 yards on the ground, 2 touchdowns to add to that. That was his 18th carry of the season. He's a 5'11", 172-pound senior who tore his ACL in this game actually last year. Good to see him back a year later. And it's a pitch to Jackson McGaha, who moves ahead for the first down. Excuse me.
For another Lions first down. Oh, come on, y'all are weak.
And they're going to keep the clock moving.
I'm gonna make Grandma get mad at y'all.
Again, 7-0 early start of this game. The Lions have taken the lead on the Lions, this is their first lead that first time that they've led with the first score in this rivalry game since the 2017 matchup, or 2016 matchup. And there is a flag. It looks like there was a legal substitution, 12 men on the field, or huddle with 12 men, so they'll push the Lions back 5 yards. So a long 1st and 15. Thank you, Hunter, for being my spotter and my cameraman tonight, as I try to give some more stats. But the Lions, this is their first time that they've scored first in this rivalry game since 2016, when they eventually won 42-0. They scored first, obviously, to make it 7-0. The Lions failed to score first in 2017, and they finally scored first in last year's matchup. Here, as the play clock they get the play off, get it inside the middle, and it's just great read by the Village defense. That pass looks like was to McGaha, which we have seen can do crazy things on the passing game. That was his 20th reception of the season, 280 yards on the year, along with 4 touchdowns. So he can do a lot with his 5'10", 158 frame. And some confusion early as the play clock decides to narrow down again. The Lions are going to have to get this play off quickly as the play clock goes to 5, 4, 3, 2. They do get it off. Jacek looks to throw. He scrambles around. He does get it to Jake Williams again, nearly mirroring the play that got him to this area of the field on the first possession. And that's going to be enough for another first down by the Lions. As early in this game, it looks like the Village defense has been keeping Jake Williams open, or doesn't seem to be covering him as well as they were earlier, or not as you would expect them to, rather. He is pretty fast, 5'11", again, that knee, trying to get back to normal after the year of rehab and recovery. He did play the whole season this year. Again, another trying to get the play off quickly. They're using the play clock a lot with less than a minute to go in the opening frame. McGaha gets about 3 yards. So it's going to be second and 8 or so. And this might take us to the we're going to get one more play off before the end of the quarter. 30 seconds to go in the first quarter and 20 seconds on the play clock. So we will get one more play before the quarter expires. And Jacek is looking for somebody to throw to, and it's incomplete to McGaha. Went off his hands and onto the ground. That was around the 15-yard line, too. We were doing a big gain. And instead we got a holding, and it's going to be on the line. Shocking here early in this game. And just like everyone else thought, it's going to be a moving back penalty.
Against the Lions.
So it's going to be second down and 17.
Second or third?
As we near the very end of the quarter, 7 seconds to go. This will probably be the very last play of the second quarter. It is second down, not third down. Jacek rolls to his left. Pressure coming. Incomplete to the sideline. And as I say, it should have been the last play of the quarter. We got 2 seconds left. So it's going to make a very long third down on the Village side of the 50. 48-yard line for the Lions offense. Lions got plenty of time to think about this one this time. 20 seconds here on the play clock. As looks like Troy Randolph and Jake Magaha get on the same page as Troy Randolph comes back out. Freshman quarterback, and it does look like the Lions are going to get another delay of game penalty with 1 second. So push it back even more, now this time on the Lions side of the 50. That's going to put them on the, looks like on the Lions 48, or maybe even 47. So this will be the final play of the quarter bearing any more penalties. 30 seconds to go on the play clock. Lions offense on their second drive having some difficulties. Keep going 1 step forward, 2 steps back with the penalties. But they are in the huddle. Looks like they're trying to get something off. 13 seconds on the play clock. 2 receivers on each side. Magaha in the backfield with Jacek. Jacek gets the snap. He's looking to throw. He's got a man wide open. Correction, not wide open, but that was number 3, J.J. Amos. And with that, it's going to send us to the end of the first quarter. Your score after the opening frame of the I-10 rivalry showdown. Lions 7, Vikings 0. And we're going to take a short little break. We'll be back in just about 45 seconds or so. Again, you're watching the I-10 rivalry showdown here on Lions Sports Network with a 7-0 early lead for the Lions. Back in a moment. And welcome back to Lions Sports Network. Probably should help ourselves out here with changing to the second quarter graphics here, as well as our time. And it's going to be a punt. And the ball's going to take a nice bounce inside the 10. And it looks like it's going to be at the 10. And that's where the Vikings are going to get the ball to start their second possession. A great punt by number 23, Matt Jacek. So that drive, their second drive of the night, results in a punt with 9 seconds gone in the second quarter. So it does look like they're going to spot it just a little bit in front of the 10. So we'll give them the 11 or 12 yard line. Looks like that was a 45-yard punt. Pretty good punt by Jacek. It's a handoff by Tyler Woods, number 44. Good wraparound by the Lions. It's going to bring up second down.
Taken down by number 11. That's Tate Hinton.
There.
Correction, Carter Sanchez with the tackle.
as we get back here to the right defense off here. Bassam rolls to his right, sets his feet, and it's a throw to Ain't Bandari, but instead it was tipped by, I believe, that was Zach Renteria, who we had mentioned earlier. Again, this Lions defense has a combined 10 interceptions on the year, and they could have almost had their 11th there. Third down, and 10 yards to go, maybe even 11. Vikings, Bassam. And it looks like his receiver fell down. That would be Jack West, who fell down around the sticks. So fourth down. Bassam again. It looks like another 3 and out for the Vikings. And on a drive that got them a negative yardage worth of offense. So they're going to punt it away. Assuming that they're going to punt it away here, way deep in their own territory. It looks like that is, again, Juan Soler back to punt it. And a good pressure by the Lions. They're going to take it at the 36-yard line. So that was a 20-yard punt, a 24-yard punt there by Soler. And back and forth, we've had 3 straight punts on 3 possessions, and we thought we might get an offensive series. But regardless, 11:04 remaining till halftime. And again, speaking of halftime, good time to mention, we will have a halftime report for you. We'll have the performances. We'll have a halftime report. Coming up, we'll get you scores around the district and more, and some recap of this game. So stay tuned for halftime as Magaha gets out to the 36-yard line. They're gonna almost looked like the ball got to the 35, and that's exactly where they will. They're gonna give him the 36. So not much gain there. And they got a short field to work with inside Village territory already. Jasek with Magaha to his right. He looks to throw. It's a catch and a big. It was a catch and then it was incomplete with a big hit. And it looks like that was Marshall Benedictus, number 31. De Benedictus, correction. 5'10", 205 sophomore that came in with a big hit to break that play up. So third down, no gain on this drive by the Lions. Nine seconds left on the play clock. Lions are going to be pressured again to get the playoff in time. Magaha to Jasek's right. Jasek's going to take it himself. He's going to get to the 35, to the 30, and gets wrapped up. Number 18, Ben Chan. So it's going to be on the 29-yard line, which is going to be short, which is going to bring up a short, 4th and short. So the Lions might potentially send out their punt team, and that looks like what they intend to do, is they only got 7 yards on that possession.
Yeah, I think so. Yes.
And Jasek goes to punt. It's a fake, and it doesn't look like they got it. It was they set up in the punt formation, and instead the Lions get no gain, so the Vikings are going to take over inside their own territory. Not a bad decision by Coach Rich, especially when you're deep inside Village territory trying to get your second score of the evening. So with that, the Vikings take over after a turnover on downs on the fake punt. Looks like that they didn't get much. If they did get any at all, it does look like they did get some. So we'll give them. We'll be generous and we'll give the Lions a 10-yard drive on that. Bassam hands it off to Woods. Woods takes an early spin, but met by a pride of Lions in the backfield. I know Hunter's laughing at me at that one, but you know what? It's true. That's what you call a group of lions. Call them a pride.
Loss of a couple on the
So a loss.
loss of 2 is going to bring up a second down and 12 for the Vikings.
So Vikings are. They've started at their 26, trying to do something. Both possessions that they've had have resulted in punts. 31-yard punt and a 24-yard punt. And it's a pass to West, who hurdles a man, goes to the 36. Holy moly. And Jack is out here thinking we're playing, we're running track and field with the 100-meter hurdles. My goodness. That's going to move the chains. That's going to move the chains for a first down. And he's got some hops there for being a 6-foot sophomore. Matched up with him here on the near sideline is number 5, Brandon Mayfield, who's got team leading 3 interceptions. And he's done a pretty good job so far tonight as Bassam uses his legs to get to the 46.
Gain of about 8 on the play.
It's gonna be a second and 2 or so for the Vikings. And the Vikings for the Vikings, and the Lions defense is starting a lot of these run plays here. That previous play before the run play was a nice bubble screen there to the west. Three receivers on the right side. Bassam had some miscommunication there, and instead he gets to the 50, taken down by Nolan Deers, not before he gets the first down and a little bit more inside Lions territory. So move the chains, and the Vikings have a possession that is moving with 8:07 remaining in the half. Excuse me. That was Carter Sanchez and Nolan Deers that had the wrap. I believe it was Woods. I'm not sure, but I want to say it was Woods on the far side that had that pass. Either way, he's lined up next to here on the near sideline with Anch Bandari. It's a handoff to Woods. He bounced off a man, and then play is going to be whistled dead, but forward progress is going to get him a yard or two to the 44. Kyle Paul was there for the Lions on the tackle, initial tackle, and he was able to bring him down. So Woods is going to be the running back in the backfield. Looks like that's Wally and Bandari here on the near sideline and West on the far sideline, as well as Joseph Trim, the junior, number 21. And it's a throw to the other side. West gets up, and he makes the catch. He spins off the first Lions DB, who I believe was number 8 or 9. I believe it was number 8, Austin Heem, there on the coverage. So the Vikings get their first big play of the evening, courtesy of a pass from Bassam to West. So the Vikings are in business here with first down from the 20. It's a quarterback run, designed quarterback run to get about 5 yards.
Gain of about 5 or 6 on the play.
So second
down for the Vikings.
Vikings have to get to the 9-yard line to get first and goal. So not quite first and goal yet. And this rushing defense for the Lions has seemed to be the defensive line's providing pressure, but the Vikings keep putting their own pressure and keep finding holes. And as I say that, number 32, Zach Renteria meets Tyler Woods at the line of scrimmage.
That's Zach Renteria with the tackle.
So third and short on the Vikings' first pretty good possession of the night. Previous 2 possessions resulted in a punt. Again, this drive started at their own 26, so currently doing pretty good offensively on this drive. Third and 4 from the Lion 11. It's a handoff to Joseph Trim.
Handoff to number 21. That's going to be enough to move the chains for the Vikings. First and goal for the Vikings. Deep in Lions territory.
So first and goal now for the Vikings after that nice run by Trim to set it up. He's in the backfield now. West on the near sideline. Wally in the slot. And that's going to be Trim, who gets maybe no gain. Question. He's going to get a few yards. Second and goal. 4:46 remaining.
That looks like that's 2nd and 6. 2nd and 6? Yeah.
Trying to tell Hunter here to zoom in, but I guess my zooming in action doesn't work.
So I'm trying to get the guy on the outside,
Second and goal here for the Vikings. Looking to the sideline for what the play is, and the play clock is starting to run down. It looks like they're going to call a timeout, and it's a good time to call a timeout here inside the Lions 10, and with that, that's going to be their first time out of the half and give us our second break. We'll be back in 30 seconds or so here. You're watching Lions Sports Network. You're watching Lions football on Lions Sports Network. And welcome back to St. John the 23rd Stadium, SJ23 Stadium here on the campus of St. John the 23rd in Katy, Texas. After the timeout, the Lions defense is on the field still, as the Vikings are facing second and goal from the 6-yard line. It's hard to tell, 6-yard line or so. It's gonna be a handoff to Trim, looking for an edge and a hole. Lions defense there to swallow him up, so it's going to be a third. Correction, it looked like we were still on mute there. That was a Vikings touchdown. So they're an extra point away from tying this game. Bassam over to the side, the corner, far side corner. And he's on there to hold. The kick is up, and it is.
Kick is up.
And it's good. So after that extra point, we've got a tie ball game here in Katy, Texas.
He's starting to back off on him.
After a good
He's starting to
6-yard passing score by Bassam to Woods.
Need more cowbell.
And that was a 74-yard drive. Took about 6.5 minutes off the clock. So the Vikings were efficient with the football. 74, I believe it was a 9 or 10 play, 74-yard drive, resulting in a 6-yard passing touchdown. So each team's got two first half timeouts, tied up at 7 apiece. Vikings punted on their first two possessions and just tied it up with a 6-yard score. Lions scored on their first possession, and
Deep to receive is Carter Sanchez and Nolan Deere for the Lions.
about a 5-yard run by Matt Jasick, or 8-yard touchdown run, excuse me. It was an 87-yard drive for the Lions on their first possession. And it looks like they're going to get the ball back. Here, we're going to wait to see what the kick results in from Soler.
He's over here, coach, on the
Back to receive. That's going to be Carter Sanchez who picks it up off the bounce. He's got a hole. Breaks off the kicker. He's going to get to the 50, to the 40. Keeps going to the 40. Inside the 40-yard line. And a big return from Carter Sanchez. The sophomore, 5'6", 147 pound. Receiving, punt returner, kick returner, defensive back, just making all the plays out there tonight there. Big return for the Lions. And that is going to help the Lions start with 3 minutes and 21 seconds to go before halftime. Don't mind the clock on the screen here as the Lions are going to start at the Village 38-yard line. Again, another short field. Last time they did the fake punt and it was a turnover on downs. Jacek with Magaha in the backfield next to him. Jacek goes for a throw to Jake Williams and it's bobble tipped. Good defense by number 80. James Wally. And there is a flag. I'm not sure what the flag was for. Could have been pass interference. It looked like there was some tangled up in there with Williams and Wally. And again, in college as well as in high school, it is a 15-yard penalty rather than it being spot of the foul as well, as long as it's not in the end zone. And we're gonna, and it doesn't look like it's gonna be pass interference. It's gonna move. It's gonna be unsportsmanlike conduct, and it's gonna be on the Vikings. So either way, whether it be a pass interference or a unsportsmanlike conduct, it's gonna move the Lions and give the Lions the ball at the Viking 22-yard line. First and 10 from that spot. Jacek keeps it himself. He's gonna run, get to the 20 or so. Short gain.
For a short gain on the play, brings up a second down for the Lions.
With 2:56, under 3 minutes to go in the first half. Again, don't mind the clock on the screen. Second and 8, and we're going to get a timeout.
And a timeout taken by Coach Clay.
And Coach Richardson's going to think about this, and another good timeout taken by the Lions. And with that, take another break. Welcome back to SJ23 Stadium again here in Katy, Texas. 7-all is the score as the Lions are driving here on the Viking 20-yard line. Second and long, 2.5 to go. Looks like the Vikings may want to save some clock, conserve some clock so they can get the ball back. And we'll stay with you here for this timeout. So each team's got one timeout to work with in this half. 7-7 is the score. 1:23 remaining on the clock. Looks like the Lions, last time in this situation, it does look like the Lions did indeed go for it. It turned out to be a fake punt that was a turnover on downs. That was their previous drive, which started at the 36.
Tonight's timeout sponsored brought to you by George Koff.
As
We are announcing today online, YouTube. Find that channel. What is it? YouTube.
Lions Sports Network.
Lions Sports Network.
As the Lions have started this drive at this specific drive at the 38, so very similar to the previous drive. You gotta expect they're gonna maybe go for it here with a minute 20 to go in this first half. Still tied, 7 apiece. Vikings finally got their offense moving on the last drive, which was resulted in a 6-yard touchdown pass, 74-yard drive. So looks like it's a reverse Deers, and it's going to be incomplete to J.J. Amos, was who it was intended for. And so just like that, the play is going to result in another turnover on downs
First and 10 for the Vikings.
after a bad reverse. So the Vikings are going to get the ball back with one timeout to work with. As they went 20 yards on that drive. So this could be the final drive of the quarter for the Vikings. 1:18 remaining. Woods is going to be behind Bassam. Bassam's going to look to throw. Pressure coming. And it goes to Woods. But he's going to be caught maybe for a yard as the clock continues the run.
Brings up a second down for the Vikings.
You got to be thinking when the Vikings are going to take their time out to conserve time and maybe try to get a very close field goal attempt or something. Lions are trying to avoid that from happening and take a tie game into the half, or maybe even try to do something on defense here. Same formation look. Bassam pumps fakes. He's going to take himself. Taken down by 44. Jason Krennick.
44, Jason Krennic with the tackle.
Before almost shutting him off, but Jason was able to wrap back around and get him down. So third and manageable for the Vikings with 25 seconds to go. Bassam's shotgun forced 5-snap drop, and it's incomplete. No flags. Almost thought that could have been a pass interference, but West just missed. And just as we mentioned in the pregame, if you contain West and you contain Magaha, you get a pretty interesting ball game. And just like that, West has been contained for the Vikings, and Magaha for the Lions has been contained for the most part. So the Vikings are going to punt. This drive started with 83 seconds left on the clock from their own 19-yard line, or 18-yard line, correction, and looks like it is going to result in another punt. They're going to punt it. At the 34-yard line. It was a very nice punt from the 18 to the 34. It was a 48-yard punt by Soler, who had his longest punt of the night, longest punt for either side. St. John had a 45-yard punt to start the second quarter. All right, Lions got 11 seconds left on the clock, and it looks like we're going to take this. Looks like they're going to take this to the locker room. And with that, in a ball game that may decide some playoff implications, your score at the half: Lions 7, Vikings 7. Low scoring one here in Katy, Texas. We'll have some halftime performances, and then we'll get you back here for a halftime report. We've got halftime performances and some maybe some senior recognitions potentially. So just keep an eye on that. We'll keep it here for the audio, for the video. For the audio, we'll take a break. Again, we'll be back about 9. We'll be back in about 20 minutes or so for the halftime report. We'll get you updated with the scores around the district, as well as some what to watch for in the second half. Again, your score at halftime from SJ23 Stadium is Vikings 7, Lions 7. We'll be back in 20 minutes. You're watching Lions football on Lions Sports Network. And welcome back here inside the booth from SJ23 Stadium in Katy, Texas. We're back here for the halftime report as the band finishes up their halftime performance. 7-7 is the score at the half. We'll give you a drive summary recap. This is when we would need a dealership sponsor. But the Lions had, we'll say they had 5 drives. We're not going to count the last one they had at the end of the half to need it. And they scored on their first drive, an 87-yard drive that consisted of 4.5 minutes off the clock and ended with an 8-yard touchdown rush, or 8-down touchdown run by Matt Jasek, quarterback. Village proceeded to punt on their first 2 possessions before finally converting on their third time's the charm. 6.5 minute drive that started on their own 20 field. Bassam to take the snap. He fakes it. Pressured. Gets to the West. West is going to have a big gain. Gets the first down and then he slips. Trips or slips. So first down, West's 4th reception. And as we mentioned, my guess is the second half adjustment for the Lions is to keep him contained and try to get something moving on the offensive side. And on the defensive side, you just have to keep bringing pressure. For the Vikings, offensively, you got to keep trying to get to West. At some point, it's going to break open and finally get something to West. With that, obviously they did right there. And Bassam uses his legs for this one and gets a first down. So the Vikings moving quickly here to start the second half. As this drive started, where did this drive start? I believe it started back around the 30-yard line. We'll say the 30. We'll say the Viking 35. As they keep moving, and on West, another slip. It's gonna be probably about 4 or 5 yards of loss, and it almost looks like West's cleats just aren't digging into the ground. Either way, it brings up a long second down for the Vikings. And we apologize for the technical difficulties. We are back on the air, so audio seems to be working well. Video may not follow, but Bassam going for an wide open Viking receiver. That was Ainch Bandari, number 2, the 6 foot, 165-pound junior. 6 receptions, 128 yards, and 5 touchdowns on the season. And he just added a big reception for the Vikings as they come out of the half, storming down the field, looking for a capitalization on their first drive of the second half. Bassam takes a snap. He's going to keep it himself past the 15 and inside the 10-yard line with 8:40 to go. Second and short.
Pass is called incomplete.
It's going to be incomplete.
Except you ruled the catch on the far end.
Oh, they did rule it a catch.
Overruled the catch.
They ruled it a catch, so it's going to be first and goal from inside the 5. Vikings taking advantage of this nice drive, and again, looking for the third long drive of the evening for either side. Vikings first and goal.
First and goal for the Vikings.
And we're going to get a stoppage.
And we're going to take a TV timeout out here.
And we're going to take a timeout, and I believe it's not from either of the teams. It is indeed a referee TV timeout. Gives me time to put the timeouts back on the board. And it looks like our after review ruling on the field is going to stand. It's going to be an completed catch. Again, this drive started
First and goal for the Vikings.
on the Viking 35, and they're already down to the Lion 5-yard line. First and goal. Bassam tries to take it himself. Is he in? And he is. Oh, one official says touchdown. The other official said he was down. Nope. Now they agree. It's a Viking touchdown. So just like that, they take the lead.
You can have it, Sam.
Looking to put this up, put the Vikings up by a touchdown here with 7:45 to go. And right outside of halftime, and right out of the locker room, the Vikings strike first. Lions look to keep it going and maybe respond. Kick is up and good. So after the first possession of the second half, Vikings lead this one 14-7.
Get the St. John people hyped. Hey, no.
I'm using
Senior wants to get up and get loud. They'll get up.
I'm using a hotspot internet. Yeah. I do, but it's gonna ruin my bandwidth. As we are complaining about the Wi-Fi, apparently the Wi-Fi went out here in the press box. But never fear.
Never.
Even with a 14-7 deficit here in the third quarter, again, that was I believe it was a 2-yard keeper by Bassam, 2-yard rushing touchdown keeper. Either way, it resulted in a 4-minute and 15-second drive that started at the 35, so 65-yard drive. Very efficient. And the Lions will look to see if they can't respond here on their first possession of the second half. It's going to be a low kick. Oh, and it was touched by Sanchez over near the goal. It rolls all the way back to the goal line. He's going to have to try to make something of it. He does. He has a hole to the 15, to the 20. And he's going to get taken down around the 21-yard line. He made a bad decision there with trying to catch it off the hop, and instead he made up for it with a nice 21-yard run back. He's dangerous on the return game. And so the Lions are going to have a nice long drive starting at their own 21. As we get some chants here from the Lions student section. I believe that I could be wrong. Is it on the 23 or on the 20? Looks like it's on the 22-yard line. Man, still haven't gotten the SJ23, St. John starting their own 23-yard line. Either way. 1st and 10, it's a bad snap. Nice,
No, it was a fake.
nice fake, but instead Jake Williams is he got it, but I believe that was number 80. Correct, number 80, James Wally, who read that like a book. He put him there from front cover to back cover. And now the Lions have it just above the 25-yard line. Not quite 26, but 25 and a half, I guess you would say. 2nd and 6 for the Lions. The clock continues to run. We're just about halfway through this third quarter, and Lions are trying to run quick, and Williams gets the ball again. It looks like the ball may have got. Did the ball come out? Either way, he was able to jump back on it. A short third down. Very similar result of the previous play. So the Lions facing a 3rd and short, deep inside their territory. Vikings just scored to make it a 14-7 game. You're looking for a big response here from your Lions offense if you're Coach Richardson and the Lions offense. Jason's under center. Deers is going to go around. It was a nice design ball, a fake there by Jake Williams, bringing out the trickeration and some of the option plays. Fooled our cameraman and kind of fooled your commentator here until he finally saw where the ball was. Good fake handoff by J6. So it's going to move the chains and move the ball to the 42. Another handoff. This time he's wide open. That's mid to the 50, 10, 5. That's the Lions! Touchdown! Lions touchdown! And just like that, they look to tie it back up. Big gain, big run. That's a 58-yard touchdown run by number 22, Jackson McGaha. And you give him a hole, he's going to take advantage of it and take it to the house. Looking to tie this game. And he does, right down the middle. And with that, the Lions have made this a ball game yet again. 14 apiece and a quick drive. Just about not.
What happens when the senior parents get all wild and crazy out here? You're not allowed to sit back down, right?
Yeah, we had talked about possibly defensive battle here, but instead we're getting some more offense just like we thought we would. And it was just under 2 minutes, about 1 minute and 45 drive, capped off by a 58-yard touchdown run by McGaha. His 16th rushing touchdown of the season. Had to check the stats there for a second. That was a 78-yard drive. 78-yard drive capped off by that long touchdown run. So the Lions are back to kick it off. We'll get to see the Vikings offense yet again. And boy, 2 touchdown drives very quickly here in this second half. And we may be looking at a second half shootout between these two teams. And it's a possible onside, and that kick's going to go out of bounds. So not necessarily the best result for that possibility. But there are 2 flags. We got a flag by where it was kicked and a flag to where the ball went out of bounds. I'm wondering if it's 2 similar penalties or if it's an offside and a kick out of bounds. It looks like they're going to re-kick, question mark? Looks like they will re-kick. And it does look like they're going to re-kick. Nope, doesn't look like they're going to re-kick. Vikings are going to get the ball at the 47, 46 yard. They're going to get at the 47-yard line after the kick out of bounds. The 47-yard line. Again, their last drive, they started on their own 35 and went 4 minutes, 15 seconds down the field for a 65-yard drive that ended in a rushing touchdown. This time, keep it on the ground. Bassam finds a hole, and he might have enough for the first down. It's going to be close. And they are going to mark it short, so it's going to be second and short. Bassam got a hole. He tried to find the first down and instead just came up short. Second and 1, or maybe even second and inches almost. Bassam hands it off to Woods. Woods is going to get the first down, but nothing more. So move the chains, and now with these first 2 plays of the drive, the Vikings are already in Lions territory. They've gotten to the Lions' 42-yard line. So they've got 11 yards on this drive. It's a bubble screen to Jack West. He tries to shed off a man, and there's 4 or 5 Lions that still couldn't come up with the tackle. Not before West comes up, signaling the first down, but the rest don't think so. So it's going to be second and short. Thought he may have had the first down. It had 4 or 5 Lions over there trying to make the tackle on West. And again, West has finally found himself a little bit more touches here in the second half. Vikings inside the 35. Second and 2. Bassam looks to pass, and he kept it himself. He's got a hole on the far sideline to the 30, to the 20, inside the 20. So move the chains, and the Vikings are efficiently moving the ball now. 4 minutes to go. Now we've got the shootout that we're talking about here. The offense is going back and forth. He almost did a pump fake there, instead just may have actually been a design quarterback run when you look at it, because he was pump faking on the way and decided to take it himself to the far sideline. 1st and 10 from inside the 20, 19-yard line or so. Bassam in the backfield. He fakes the handoff passes it to West. West is going to get to the 5. It's going to be a first down, so it's going to be 1st and goal. And it seems like we're repeating ourselves here because after that very quick response by the Lions, the Vikings are back inside, deep inside Lions territory here with another scoring opportunity. Bassam rolls to his left. Tried the jump. Incomplete, but there's going to be a flag. And it looks like James Whaley was going to be got caught up and tangled in there with, I'm not sure who that was there on the coverage. Either that would be what you would call a good pass, or a pass interference. Not necessarily good pass interference, but a pass interference. And it was Brandon Mayfield there on the coverage. He's now matched up with West, so Mayfield gets called for the pass interference. 3:07 to go. Start the clock. Nope, correction, since it was incomplete. It's 1st and goal now from the 2 or 1 yard line. 2 yard line, since it occurred just outside the end zone, so it was half the distance. Bassams gets the snap. He hands it off to Woods. Woods is he gonna get in? No, the ball got taken out, and the ball got taken out. This team that has 17 fumble recoveries on the year just got another one. And it does look like and Woods gets up slowly. And that is how you stop a scoring chance. Lions take over. 1st and 10 from inside their 20-yard line. And the first turnover of this football game belongs to the Lions. And that's just what you call a manhandle play. You just take it right outside of the ball carrier's hands and say, nope, that's mine. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. 2:58 to go. Tie game here. 2:58 to go in the first quarter of the second half. I'm going over my words here. Third quarter. 2:58 to go in the third quarter from the 15-yard line. It's a pitch, looking for the pass, and it's to J.J. Abrams, who's got a long open space, 30, 35, 20, and taken down around the 20, and a big tackle by number 27, Andrew Duncan. Big completion. I thought he had a chance to go to the house. Either way, second big play of the quarter.
Is there any way you can get a backer to drop into Tampa if they got a pass read? Billy's gonna join. Backside backer.
Fullback run.
And it was a run by Magaha. Not going to get anywhere.
We're worried about the free vertical, right?
Loss of about a yard on the play brings up a 2nd down and 11.
So behind the line, so it's going to be 2nd and 11 as I calculate how long that Viking drive was.
Backside backer goes Tampa.
And it's a pitch to Nolan Deers. Had the option to maybe throw it, but he found some space instead. He got hit. Big side on the far sideline. And he's down. We're gonna get an injury timeout to let's recap what happened here in these last few plays. Vikings got down to the Lion 2-yard line. It's not Nolan Deers. We're confirming it's not number 9. Somebody is down big on the far sideline. It will be 3rd and short for the Lions when we come back here.
He got caught up from behind his leg. Whoever was that? Who's the wide receiver out there?
Everyone's taking a knee here. Let's recap here for a second. The Lions defense came up big as the Vikings drove down the field. They were able to the Vikings were able to convert until they got to the 2-yard line when they had a fumble that was just stripped away from Woods by the Lions defense. I'm not even sure who it was. And the Lions got the ball quickly at the 15-yard line. They were able to recover it just a little bit more. And were able to get a huge gain on a nice reverse play that went to J.J. Amos, who took it all the way down to the 20. Almost had a to the house call again, and then we had a big play on the far side that resulted in a big hit, and it does believe to be Jake Williams, the senior. Again, remember he tore his ACL last year in this game, in Houston, and it looks like, and you can see the brace on his left leg, and it doesn't look like he's in good shape here. We'll try to see if we can get some sort of update on him later in game, maybe in the fourth quarter. But right now, that's not good, and that's a weapon that you've lost on the Lions offense.
It was an easy game. Everybody be doing it.
And he's not even putting pressure on, as my spotter Hunter here mentioned. He's not even putting any pressure on either leg. So it's going to be all that resulted in a 3rd and short. Again, another huge play. That got the Lions down here to the 20, to inside the 20. Inside, around the 15-yard line. It was a 70-yard pass and catch that they got to get to this point. And Jacek was looking for a block. And he's not going to get any farther past the 15, maybe to the 13. So it's going to be a 4th and short. And you got to think, do you take the points? Or do you try to go and keep pressure and force Village to take it deep in their own end zone? And it looks like the offense is going to stay on. I don't see any. And it looks like they are coming off, and I'm not sure who that's going to be the kick. And it does look like it's going to be the freshman, Roman Brown, to attempt a field goal.
Coach, we're running out of time.
3 seconds on the play clock.
Oh no, there you go.
And Coach Rich is going to have to use a timeout. You could maybe think that they were maybe trying something.
Timeout taken by Coach Clay.
And that's going to be the first timeout. And with that, we're going to take a break. Give ourselves a breather here from SJ23 Stadium. We'll be back in just a few seconds. And welcome back to SJ23 Stadium. Got some excitement here, and it looks like the Lions are going to keep the offense on for fourth and short, and we're going to call the Lions are going to get another timeout. So the Lions burn their second timeout in as many chances. So as we sit here, we're not going to take a break this time. As we take a break here, the Lions have been set up here all because of a 65-yard catch and run by J.J. Amos, who, with that catch and run, added to his 6 receptions, 80 yards, and a touchdown on the season. He almost had his second touchdown of the season with that nice long 65-yard pass. So that puts him over the 150 mark for receiving yards here in his senior season, 6'2", 155. And you got to think that whatever the Lions send out to do on this play is going to be what you see. You can't burn another timeout only this early in the second half. 25 seconds remaining in the third quarter. It's going to be a handoff that gets blown up. Matt Jasek, excuse me, not a handoff. Matt Jasek kept it himself, and it's going to be a turnover and down. So after all that excitement, the Lions' third turnover on downs inside the Vikings' 30-yard line or more. So that's a 70-yard drive that goes for nothing. That took about 2 minutes off the clock, maybe 2 and some change off the clock, and the Vikings will have it.
Who's got two?
And Bendari gets a huge play to the 45. Great pass by Bassam, and that's going to send us to the end of the quarter. Brandon Mayfield looked like maybe got burned a little bit on that play. And just like that, the Vikings do what the Lions did to them and move it back to Lions territory. And we're going to take it to the 4. Put your 4s up in the air. We're tied up. So the same result as halftime. 7 points by each team.
Probably could jump the slant when 13's that guy. Then we got nobody on that corner route. Right.
And your score at the end of the third quarter, Lions 14, Vikings 14. We got a good fourth quarter, shaping up to be a good fourth quarter here from Katy, Texas on a cold, chilly November evening. Stay with us. You're watching Lions football on Lions Sports Network. Welcome back to Lions Sports Network. It's coverage of this wonderful matchup here as we get you set up and ready. Bassam goes down around midfield, and he goes down hard. He's down. He's holding his right knee. It looks like he's okay, but he might be limping after that one. Big hit there behind the line. Maybe even we'll give him a credit a sack there. And talk about a man that's got some got a big heart and toughness there. So 49 yards on the line side of the 50. It's going to be incomplete. Woods almost had it, and you could almost say that was almost the Lions interception there. McGaha, Bodler, Kyle Paul, they were all over that one. So it's going to be third and long from the Lions' 49-yard line. We've just passed. We are 11 minutes, 17 seconds remaining in the ball game. Tied up at 14 apiece. Bassam, big step back or drop, and he's going to run it. And it looks like Renteria slipped in trying to tackle him, so Bassam gets the first down. So after that bad loss of yardage and Bassam getting hit hard, he stays in, uses his legs, adds to his 256 rushing yards on the season, which is more like 300, maybe even 350 in this game, as he moved the ball to the 36-yard line. First and 10, underway, just started the fourth. Oh man, and Bassam got bounced, and Kyle Paul missed the tackle, and that was Bendari. Number 2 is another big catch for him. He was coming into this game with 128 receiving yards and 5 touchdowns. Ethan Mills made the tackle.
10 for the Vikings.
So the Vikings moved the ball again, looking to capitalize. Last time they were in this part of the end zone, Lions were able to strip it out of Woods' hands and get the fumble. They're going to need something like that again to stop the Vikings from taking the lead. Bassam. He designed quarterback run all the way. Kyle Paul missed the tackle there.
Number 5 with the keeper.
And did he get in? And he did. He sneaked away and got in around the sideline into the end zone for a Viking touchdown. So just like that, Vikings take the lead yet again. And they're an extra point away from making this a 7-point ball game with 9:46 remaining in this matchup. So a good drive. Good drive by the Vikings. It results in another long scoring drive. Bassam using his legs to get it done.
Kick is up.
16-yard rushing touchdown for Bassam. That took about 3 minutes off the clock. So the Lions will get the ball back here with 9:46. Down 21-14. Here in the I-10 rivalry showdown. Again, lots of stakes, lots of things at stake. Vikings win this one. They head to the state championship game to face St. Dominic Savio, who's clinched their spot in the state championship game after going through an undefeated regular season. They're trying to finish that undefeated regular season tonight against Northland Christian, and because of our Wi-Fi difficulties, we're not going to be able to get you the scores for those games, but we're going to assume that they stay undefeated against a Northland Christian team that was struggling. All right. Lions have one timeout for the remainder of this ball game, and they are looking to respond yet again after the Vikings take the lead. Squib kick bounces past the Lions, and it looks like the Lions are just going to have to fall on it at the 25. And that's where they will get it.
Taken down by number 9, Nolan Deers.
Nolan,
First and 10 for the Lions.
Lions will have it. They're going to have to try to go 75 yards with 9:43. So the Lions are needing another big play. The last 2 times that the Vikings have scored, the Lions have had big plays, either score a touchdown or get down inside. That's going to go to Magaha. He's got a hole to the 40, to the 45, and that's where he's going to get taken down. And just as I say, another big play, that's exactly what you needed, and that's exactly what the doctor ordered.
For another Lions. First down.
Big 20-yard gain for Magaha. And just like any big play on any level of football, whether it be
10 yards and repeat.
high school, college, or the pros, if you got something like that, it means somebody was holding. So it's going to be coming back. Lions now in a deep hole. First and 20 now from the 15 with 9:29 and counting. Jacek, he's going to keep it himself. He's going to try to get some of that penalty yardage back. And he gets to the 24, so...
Brings up a second down for the Lions.
Correction, he gets to about the 19, not the 24. I was seeing the wrong marker. So it's going to be 2nd and 15. He cuts that penalty yardage in half. Lions need a big play. Went over to the sidelines to get the play. And you're not really worried about time here. You're just worried about making some good plays and converting on them. Here, as we reach the 9-minute mark. And a false start is going to push the Lions back even more. So it's going to be 2nd and 20.
Gonna be against the Lions.
And
Pushes them back.
unforced errors and mistakes like this are just, you can't have it down deep in this game. All right. So the Lions are facing a long 2nd down, trying to get some of the penalty yardage. They've got to get to the 35-yard line to convert a 1st down. They started this drive on the 25, so they've just kept going backwards. Jacek rolls around. He's going to run it himself. He gets to the 25. He's got some open space, and he gets met by number 27, Andrew Duncan. So it looks like he did get all that penalty yardage back. So it's going to be a 3rd and long. And maybe even looks like a 3rd and 10, question mark.
That's gonna bring up a 3rd and about 8 for the Lions.
So he did get more. He got past the original line of scrimmage. So the Lions have gained 2 yards on this possession so far. So 3rd and 8. So the Lions, again, have to get to the 35 for the 1st down. 8 minutes and 7:40 to go. Bad communication. But there's going to be a flag, so this might come back. But if you're the Vikings, you might want to decline it. That flag came from way.
Holding against the Lions.
So the holding's going to be declined.
4th down.
So it's going to be 4th and long. And the Lions are going to be forced to punt. Deep in their end zone, deep in their own territory, you gotta think that this is not even gonna be close to being a fake punt. This is just gonna be a straight punt. They were able to gain approximately -1 yards on the drive. And a good punt. It's taken by West. West has a few punt return touchdowns on the year, but he's going to get taken down at midfield.
By number 13. Ball's gonna be marked at about the 49-yard line in Vikings territory. 1st and 10 for the Vikings.
And that was a 30-yard punt, but a nice return by West. So the Vikings are going to take over with 6:57 to go,
6 minutes, 57 seconds left on the ticker.
and they're going to take over at their own 49-yard line. They're looking to extend their lead now. Up by 7. Lions looking to get a big stop. West in motion. Bassam. He's going to take it himself again. And he finds a hole yet again
Number 5 with the keeper on the right side.
into Lions territory to the 43.
2nd down and 3 for the Lions. For the Vikings.
So it's going to be a 2nd and 3 for the Vikings as we go inside the 6.5 minute mark. Vikings may even try to run down the clock here on this drive, especially if they can get inside the 20-yard line. Lions looking to reverse that and try to stop him here. Bassam looked for West on the bubble screen, couldn't get it. And instead it gets over the Bandari, but you got 3 Lions over there to make sure he doesn't get any farther than the 30-yard line. Looked like that was Jake Bardler and Brandon Mayfield there, the 2 seniors, trying to wrap him up. Again, we got 1 turnover in this game coming from the Lions. Fumble recovery, forced fumble and recovered by the Lions at the 2-yard line as Village was trying to extend their get a lead, and instead it stayed tied at that point. Bassam has Woods in the backfield, fakes it. He's looking for a man. He's got all the time in the world. He looks to throw it, and it's Woods at the 20 To the 15, sheds off another man. And the Vikings are in business with 5.5 to go. Another first down. And you got to be thinking that the Vikings get a touchdown here. You might be looking at a tough road to hoe for the Lions. Offensive line for the Vikings has done a pretty good job on the defense, on the Lions' defensive line tonight. Not really forcing much pressure, and when they have, they've been able to escape it and get out of it. Bassam has Woods in the backfield. He's going to take it himself, just runs into a pile. Maybe gets a few yards.
The ball for a short gain. Second down for the Vikings.
To the 16. Correction. To the 16-yard line. Or, sorry, inside the 15-yard line. So to the 13-yard line. Second down. It looks like it's going to be Constantine in the backfield. Correction. That was Chaput in the backfield. And Bassam gets pushed out of bounds. He's slow to get up, but it looks like he's all right. It's going to be third down. Lions looking to stay in this game. 4 minutes to go. Got a good one brewing on the day after Halloween here in Katy, Texas. Lions trying to serve something up and maybe find a spell that works to get the Vikings into fourth down. Keeping the clock running is the Vikings. It's going to be a rollout to the left. Bassam to the end zone.
Oh, that's not caught?
And it is caught. He's going to be down. He's going to be down. West is down on the field. He took a pretty big hit, got shaken up. The Vikings did convert. That was a completed catch. So that's going to put the Vikings in first and goal situation on a crucial third down with 3:32 remaining. It looks like he's all right. Maybe just a little bit shaken up. Again, this drive started at the Viking 49-yard line. They've kept the ball for about 3 minutes and 20 seconds. They're inside the 2-yard line. They've gone about 49 yards. And they're looking to maybe put the nail in the coffin on this matchup. Vikings got 15 seconds on the play clock. They get it off. Bassam looks to try to get into the end zone, and he's got nowhere. Got stuffed like a stuffed crust pizza. So it's going to be second down and goal from the 4-yard line. Vikings lose about 2 yards, and the clock continues to run. 3 minutes to go. Lions have one timeout. Guys, start to be thinking when you're going to use it. Again, you're potentially in field goal range, even this close to the goal line. But you may not be thinking about a field goal here if you're the Vikings. You may be thinking about trying to just put this game away with a touchdown. West is back in the game. He's in the backfield. Bassam pitches it to West. Nobody really on that far side. And he sneaks in for a Viking touchdown. And that's extended the lead to 13. And with that, with 2 minutes and 34 seconds on the clock, you might be running out of time to make a comeback if you're the Lions. Looking to make this a 14-point game with 2:34 to go in this ball game will be Juan Soler, who's been perfect on the night. 40 for 46 regularly. And he is good again. So you can add 4 to that. So he's 44 for 50 on the year, 88%.
Kick is up and good. Brings our score to 28-14 in favor of the Vikings.
So with 2:34 to go, the Lions will get this ball back. And they've got to go down and score quickly and maybe try the onside if they're going to want to have a chance to come back and tie this game. That was a 51-yard scoring drive that took up about 4.5 minutes. 4 minutes and 15 seconds. Correction. And went 51 yards and finished with a 4-yard rushing touchdown by West. Man, it's been all on the ground for the Vikings. All 4 of their touchdowns have been rushing, of the rushing variety. Lions were able to get a correction. Theirs have also been on the ground. So here we go. Lions looking for something on this return. It's going to be another squib kick. Takes a funny bounce. Touched by Nolan Deers, and he's going to get swallowed at the 25-yard line. So that's where the Lions will start
First and 10 for the Lions.
with 2:27 to go. And it's not impossible to come back here at this point. But at the 25-yard line, you're put in the same situation as you were about 7 minutes ago. You had the ball, 9:43 remaining in a down by 1 score, and you were only able to get -1 yards. And you had to punt it for 30 yards away. So the Lions looking to try to reverse that. They go deep for a pass. It's caught around midfield.
Complete to number 11.
Carter Sanchez makes a huge catch, and the Lions get a huge first down. Clock will stop momentarily to reset the chains, and it's moving now. 2:15 to go and counting. Lions have an opportunity to get a score here, make this interesting. Jasek out to Deers, and it was forward, not backwards, so it drops an incomplete pass. So that's going to stop the clock. 2:07,
7 seconds left.
28-14.
Brings up a second down and 10 for the Lions.
So the Lions, 2nd and 10 from their side of the 50. Got to get to the 41. To the Viking 41. Looking to do more than that. Got 7 seconds to snap to get the play off. 3. They get it off. Jasek. Pressure coming. He steps up. He looks to throw. Deers. Behind him. Incomplete.
This is incomplete. Brings up a third down.
Less than with 1:59 remaining. 3rd down. A very big, crucial 3rd down here from just about midfield. We'll let our clock catch up here. 1:59 to go. Vikings have 3 timeouts. Lions were forced to use 2 in that big situation earlier in the 3rd quarter, so they have 1 timeout to work with. Jasek in the backfield of Magaha looks to throw. It's caught
Pass is complete.
to Nolan Deer, so that's going to move the chains.
That's gonna move the chains for
The
a
clock is going to stop
first
again, but going to start again once they get set here. 1:53 to go and counting. Lions get set from the 39. Jasek sets his feet.
Oh!
Passing the traffic.
Go, baby, go.
He's going to run.
pass complete.
I believe there's number 10,
Tate Hinton.
Tate Hinton, with his first big catch of the night.
Other Lions.
Lions are moving with 1:37 to go and counting. They're now in a potential scoring drive, and the Vikings are going to call a timeout. Smart move to get them reset. Their defense all of a sudden just started to collapse as the Lions were moving. So they call their first timeout of the half And we're going to take we'll step aside for just a second. 28-14, crucial game here, minute and 30 to go. We'll be back in just a second. Welcome back to Katy, Texas. Interesting end of the game here. Minute 90 seconds exactly to go. Lions have the ball on the 15-yard line, looking to make this a one-score game. Jacek rolling around. He's got to go. He's running to the 10, to the 5. End zone, rolls in. That's going to be a Lions touchdown. Lions touchdown. And with a minute and 22 seconds, that's how you get it done after the Viking timeout. Lions go 5 plays, 75 yards, results in a 15-yard run by Matt Jacek. And he spins. He tumbles into the end zone. He made his celebration look good. And this extra point means a lot here. You got 10 seconds to call it.
7, 6.
You can't get too excited. You got it. He's got it. And it is. It is good. So after the score and the good extra point, the Lions are now a touchdown behind. And you got to be everyone in the booth, let alone everyone in the stands, along with the Village team, should be expecting an onside right here with one timeout. Can't stop the clock. You got to put your best play, your best onside play forward. Again, 75-yard drive. Took a minute and 5 seconds off the clock. Resulted in that 15-yard Jacek touchdown run. And you got to be looking for an onside here. High school they kick from the 40-yard line. You got to get it. You've got to touch it after the 50 or you have to let it go to at least the 50-yard line. It's got to travel 10 yards. Lions student section here and the whole stands think they've got it here. This is a chance. This goes for not. I don't know. We'll see. This could be for the game right here. The biggest play of the game up to this point. Lions going for the onside. It looks like they're bunching up the near sideline. And it is caught by the quarterback of all people, number 5, Brady Bassam. And that at the 40-yard line, and that is going to be where that's going to be where 1:20 to go. I got blocked off by the tuba, being able to see how much time there was. I thought at one point there was 20 seconds left, and I thought that's not right.
1 minute, 20 seconds left.
Vikings will get it with 1 minute, 20 seconds left on their own 40-yard line. And it looks like, and with one timeout, you're going to have the chance to only stop the clock once. And you know the Vikings are going to keep the ball on the ground, and that might be it.
Go.
They're going to, it's going to be, the clock's going to stop.
Timeout taken by the Lions.
And that's going to be their final timeout of the half. And you got to be thinking,
Final timeout for the Lions.
if you want to win this ball game, you're going to need a miracle here. With 1 minute and 17 left, you stop it here. You're not going to have enough time here, even if you force fourth down. Vikings have 2 timeouts. You need a turnover here, potentially. But you just may not have enough time here and not enough timeouts. So you know Bassam's going to recover it again, or try to take a knee again. He will. As
Knee taken by the Vikings.
that would be
To bring up a 3rd down.
Jason Krennic, who went Superman flying, made a nice tumble after the on Bassam as the clock continues to run. Didn't want to touch the quarterback. 54 seconds and counting, and with the play clock at 16, that's going to put it down to less than 40 seconds, which means this game, unfortunately, going to. And it's a bad snap. Maybe a possible fumble there, but that's going to be it. The Vikings are going to call. And the Vikings are going to let it run out. And that, my friend, is your ball game. For the second time in school history, the Village School Vikings are headed to the state championship game. They will face the Savio Eagles at a site to be determined later. But for now, the Lions face their first loss at home since 2017. Your final score here from SJ23 Stadium and the Lions Den. Vikings 28, Lions 21. The Lions had a chance to make it interesting, which they did in the final frame, but could not recover the final onside kick, allowing the Vikings to knee it out. We will have a undefeated district matchup between between Village and Savio in the state championship game. We will not have that on our end, but kudos to the Vikings for having a great game, and it was the final 4-yard rushing touchdown by the man we kept talking about, Jack West, with 2 minutes to go in the ball game to seal the win for the Vikings. And for the final time here in 2019 from SJ23 Stadium, as the Lions drop to 7-3 and the Vikings improve to 8-1, we say so long from Katy, Texas. Your final score: Vikings 28, Lions 21. For George Koff and my good friend Hunter Prabhu for doing the camera, good night, everybody, and so long. And as always, it's a great day to be a Lion. Take care, and we'll catch you next year, 2020, here on the football field. But stay tuned for some basketball coverage later in the winter. So long, everybody.